I just spent $40,000. So let's talk about the top ETFs that I'm buying right now that you may want to consider adding to your portfolio if you're looking for some diversification, some growth potential, some dividend potential, or a hedge against inflation, because I know I'm looking for all of these things right now in this crazy market that we're in. And I've been meaning to rebalance my portfolio for a while now with some more safe and stable investments, but for a few weeks I've been putting this off due to my recent move and the fact that I just personally refuse to spend a significant amount of cash, even if it's in an ETF, without first doing a ton of due diligence beforehand. And the research is finally done and the purchases are finally made. $10,000 in 4 different ETFs. So before we jump in, let's talk about how I picked these ETFs, because I don't just go online and Google top 10 ETFs and just rip off the first article I read. For this video, I looked at around 90 different ETFs and read 40 different prospectuses before narrowing that field down to 4 hand-selected ETFs based on market conditions, average returns, US inflation risk, market cap of the companies that they invest in, the ETFs invest in, industry sectors, and I narrowed that list down to the top 4 ETFs that I believe will have the best stable performance in the next 3 to 5 years. So we're gonna cover these 4 ETFs and why I bought $10,000 of each of them. And then at the end of this video, we're gonna do a few bonus ETFs that you don't wanna miss. It's gonna be pretty good. So the first one is Roundhill Investments Deep Value ETF, ticker symbol DEEP. That's a pretty good one. So this fund tracks the performance of a portfolio of 100 of the most undervalued, financially strong stocks taken from a sample of the smallest 75% of stocks listed in the US. So what does that mean? It takes a pool of all the US companies and then chops off the biggest 25% of companies from that list, which means there's no S&P 500 exposure in this fund. Then it looks at the remaining 3,000 or so potential companies and evaluates which ones have the highest relative value to their current market price. And it does this by looking at a mixture of assets, debts, earnings, and cash flows. Does a valuation assessment on those 3,000 companies, takes that 3,000 and then narrows that down to the top 100 companies, and then they allocate 1% of the fund to each of those 100 companies. Now, what I like about this fund is the fundamentals scream value. The average PDE in this fund is 14.1, and the average enterprise value to EBIT is 10.6, both of which would be impossible to find in a fund built with only S&P 500 size companies in these current crazy market conditions that we are sitting in. So this is why when the market's hot, it's good to get a bit creative and look at investments that you maybe wouldn't typically look into. Deals are out there. It just takes a little bit more digging in a market like this. Now, the biggest downside of this fund, in my opinion, is the expense ratio. It's a bit on the high end at 0.8%, or about $80 for every $10,000 invested. Now, this is still much lower than many mutual funds, but it's higher than the average ETF, so that's a consideration you want to make. The returns for Deep in the last year are massive. 85% in the last year. In the last 5 years, it's an annualized 11.2%. Now, it's my hypothesis that this fund is going to slightly beat S&P 500 returns over the next 3 to 5 years due to the fact that the S&P 500 is sitting at near record high earnings multiples. And in the long run, there's going to be some kind of regression to the mean. That could be next year, that could be 5 years from now, but at some point, this is going to even out a little bit. And I'm betting on the fact that these smaller cap value companies are going to raise and the S&P 500 is going to equal out a little bit, and we're going to see a little bit more value on the small side. And here are the fund's top 10 holdings. Also, if you want to be notified of my stock buys as soon as they happen and get some private content, you'll want to join our Patreon community. If you join that, you're the first to know about these deals because it takes quite a while to put these videos together, so you can know far before the general public does. I'll have that link down in the description. Now, the next ETF that I bought $10,000 of is the iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF. DGRO is the ticker symbol. Now, this fund selects small, mid-size, and large companies who first pay a qualified dividend, second, have 5 years of uninterrupted dividend growth, and third, have an earnings payout ratio of less than 75%. Now, the third criteria is the most important for me, believe it or not. As a young person, I don't like to overly focus on huge dividends because it creates a taxable event. This isn't to say that dividends are bad. They're great. Passive income, I mean, who doesn't want passive income? I just don't want a company that pays out massive dividends that isn't growing. I'd rather my money stay in a company and grow tax-free in most cases. So that third criteria, having an earnings payout ratio of less than 75%. What exactly does that mean? It means that this fund excludes companies who pay more than 75% of their earnings as dividends. So what this does is it avoids companies that I'm trying to avoid, those fat dividend payers that don't grow because they're just sending all their money to the shareholders, which basically means the company doesn't know what to do with their money. They don't know how to grow their company, so they're just paying out shareholders. So it does that while still exposing me to a basket of profitable companies who have growing dividends. So it's kind of like the best of all worlds. Dividends and growths, that is the sweet spot that I'm looking for with this fund. The total return for this fund in the last year is 51%. In the last 3 years, it's an annualized 15%. In the last 5 years, it's an annualized 15%. Also, the expense ratio is very, very low at 0.08%. So if you were to invest $10,000 like I did, it's only going to cost you $8, the price of like a cheap steak. And this fund holds 393 companies, and here are the largest 10 holdings. Also, you should know that linked in the description are a few offers for free stocks. If you're watching this, you're probably interested in stocks, especially Webull. They give you 2 free stocks. All you have to do is deposit $100 into your account. You don't even have to spend the $100. You can take the $100 back. They send you 2 free stocks, plus they'll send me a stock just as a thank you for sending you their way. So there's some good offers down in the description that you'll want to check out. Now let's get into the third ETF that I bought $10,000 of. This is the Distillate U.S. Fundamental Stability and Value ETF. That is a mouthful. Ticker symbol DSTL, but you're going to like this one. This fund focuses on large value stocks, but uses some tricks to remove junk value stocks. And this is important because a junk value stock can be deceptive. This is one that shows something like a low earnings multiple or a high book value to price, but isn't actually fundamentally strong. This could be considered a cigar butt company. This ETF takes the largest 500 companies in the US and then begins paring down the list to attempt to extract the maximum amount of value. It does things like removes companies without at least 1 year of net profit in the last 3 years, removes companies with a high amount of debt, and then calculates free cash flow yield. And then from there, the fund takes the top 100 companies on the list, and boom, we have a smart value ETF with S&P 500 exposure. Now, the expense ratio for this is 0.39%, which is about average, which means you pay about $39 for every $10,000 invested. And the fund returned 61% last year and 21% annually since its inception nearly 3 years ago. Its biggest holdings are all companies that you're familiar with, including Johnson & Johnson, Apple, Home Depot, and Comcast. Now, I like to think of this ETF as a smart S&P 500 because it takes the top 500 companies and then pairs it down to those who are the most stable, most profitable, and maybe have slightly better value assessments. Now, the fourth ETF, the fourth and final ETF, is the Vanguard FTSE Emerging Markets ETF. Now, this is a fund that tracks the FTSE Emerging Market Index, giving you exposure to growing markets across the world. This is great for diversification, and here's why I'm buying. First off is diversification. I personally need more exposure to non-US companies, but individual stock picks in non-US markets always make me a little bit nervous. Sometimes I'll come across a deal for a stock somewhere like in Singapore or somewhere like that, and the deal seems great, but I always end up questioning, what don't I know about this company? And because of that, I just don't end up investing. This ETF exposes me to 983 different international companies of various sizes. So if one flops, is fine. And then the second reason I'm buying is some protection against US inflation. Not all markets react in tandem with the US dollar. And of course, this diversification across the globe helps expose me to different currencies and a little bit less potential inflation. Third is a high annualized return. 37.6% in the last year and 11.8% annualized in the last 5 years. In fact, historically, emerging markets have returned a higher yield than developed markets. However, of course, you're dealing with a little bit more volatility in these markets as well. The fourth reason why I'm buying is a very low expense ratio of 0.1%. This means it only costs you $10 for every $10,000 you invest. And then fifth, it's a bit of a value play. The average P/E ratio in this fund is 14.2%, far less than your average US blue chip company. And that's everything I'm buying. Now to finish off, as promised, I have some bonus ETFs. These are my top 3 ETF ticker symbols. Coming in at number 3 is a solar ETF, ticker symbol TAN. That's pretty good. Number 2 is an agricultural ETN, which is an exchange traded note, ticker symbol DIRT. And number 1 is another agriculture ETF, ticker symbol MOO. I mean, who doesn't like that? So that's going to do it for today. If you appreciate this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. YouTube doesn't generally like to push this kind of content, so interacting with it makes a huge, huge difference, and I would appreciate it. My efforts would appreciate it. And I would just like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.